Hey, how's it going everybody? Pastor JKevz Reyes here and welcome to today's video. We are going to continue our series about geology and history. This is the Ophir, the biblical land of gold, the blessing within, inspired from TGC or the God culture, the Solomon's Gold series. I researched this, yours truly, 3 years ago, 2017. So I would just like to teach this again, my very old sermon, old PowerPoint presentation. This is not new, this is old. Okay, let's recap part 1. Last time, yesterday, we talked about where is Ophir, the descriptions, the details, the directions, Parbaim, Orient, Eastern, Upas, Pison, the gold, the river from Eden that surrounds Havilah, the brother of Ophir, from Misha Mashad Iran to Mount Sipar, a mount in the east, the table of nations. We talk about the southern seaport, Ezion Geber, to the east, and the northern Mediterranean Sea to the west. We talk about the two servants of two kings joined together, the servants of King Solomon and the servants of King Hiram or King Huram, the king of Tyre, Phoenicia. So these two kingdoms, nagkaroon ng teamwork ng dalawang groups of servants of Solomon and servants of Tyre. Every 3 years pupunta sila sa Ophir to fetch gold and many other things. So Ophir is not Yemen and Ophir is not Ethiopia, because Yemen and Ethiopia are not isles, they are not islands, they are not from the uttermost part of the earth, they are not from the ends of the earth, they are from the Middle East, middle not end. They are not in the east. So, and you don't need 3 years to journey from Ethiopia or Yemen to Israel, just 1 month or 4 weeks. But Ophir is 3 years, so it's Philippines. So let's continue this. If you still haven't watched part 1, it's in my YouTube playlist. Go watch it right now, or you can view it later. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can help me spread the word to the world. Do something for God during this pandemic. Follow me on Facebook. That being said, part 1 is available. Also, you can view Solomon's Gold series from the God Culture itself. Okay, so part 2 inside part 1, a sub part. Okay, because this is just one preaching, one sermon, one Sunday, just 1 hour, but we don't have time, so we chop it into many parts, many different sub parts. So part 2 inside part 1. Okay, Ophir ALMUG trees. And the navy also of King Hiram or King Huram, king of Tyre, Phoenicia, that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of ALMUG trees and precious stones. And the king made of the ALMUG trees pillars for the house of the Lord. As you can see in the picture, the pillars of the house of the Lord, the temple of Solomon, temple of the Lord in Jerusalem, are made of ALMUG trees. What is the color? It's red. Anong kulay ng haligi? ALMUG trees. Kulay pula. Scarlet. Okay, and for the king's house, harps also and psalteries or tambourine for the singers. There came no such ALMUG trees, nor were seen unto this day. So ALMUG trees are not native to Israel. Okay, there are no ALMUG trees that grow in Israel. So when the servants of King Hiram and together with the servants of King Solomon, these two kingdoms, two teams, two groups, came from Ophir every 3 years. So the first time, they have never seen such tree. Wala pa silang nakitang puno na ALMUG. Okay, first time nila nakita ito kasi walang tumutubong ALMUG sa Israel. So nagulat sila, first time nilang makita ALGUM trees. Okay, came no such thing unto that day na dinala nila yung ALMUG. You can see in the picture, the pillars are red. Yung mga poste, mga haligi ay kulay pula, scarlet, ALMUG trees. This is 1 Kings. Let's see 2 Chronicles. This is a parallel, cross-reference. And the servants also of Huram, that's Hiram, same spelling. Different spelling, same person, just like Obadiah, Jonah, Jonas, Judah, Judas, Joshua, Jesus. Same name, same person, different spelling. So King Huram or Hiram, the king of Tyre, Phoenicia, and the servants of Solomon, which brought gold from Ophir, same place, brought ALGUM. So ALMUG is also ALGUM. Same tree, different spelling. ALGUM or ALMUG. It's the same. Trees and precious stones. Just like precious stones. And the king made of the ALGUM trees or ALMUG trees, terraces, that's pillars, the same thing, pillars, to the house of the Lord, temple of Jerusalem, that Solomon built, and to the king's palace, and harps and psalteries, tambourines, for singers, just like in First Kings. And there were none such seen before in the land of Judah, until they arrived there, went back from Ophir after 3 years, bringing ALMUG trees from Ophir, from the far east, and the ends of the earth. Okay? At the multitude of isles, on the east, Paravaim, Orient. So, ngayon lang sila nakakita ng ALMUG trees or ALGUM trees dahil hindi nga tumutubo ang ALGUM or ALMUG sa Israel. Okay? So, you can find ALGUM or ALMUG trees in Israel anywhere, but you can find it in Ophir. So, what is ALMUG? ALGUM or ALMUG from the Hebrew word ALGUMIM, ALMUG Hebrew, ALGUMIM, is the red sandalwood. Ito po yung kulay pulang kahoy. Ito po yung mapulang uri ng puno. Okay? Scarlet wood or the red tree, red sandalwood. This is ALGUM or ALMUG. So there are many types of ALMUG. Okay, the family of ALMUG. You can say family tree. Okay, specifically, literally. So saan native ang mga ALGUM trees or ALMUG? It is a hemiparistic tree native to semi-arid areas of the Indian subcontinent. Ano pa? It is not planted where? These nations, these countries. India, 1. China, 2. Sri Lanka, 3. Indonesia, 4. Malaysia, 5. The Philippines, 6. And North Australia, 7. So, red sandalwood, ALGUM or ALMUG are native in these countries mentioned in the enumeration, including the Philippines. This is, and we have our national tree, ang pambansang puno ng Pilipinas, the Nara tree. Okay? The red sandalwood. The scientific name is Petrocarpus indicus, and the common name is red sandalwood. The national symbol of the Philippines, known to be termite and moisture free. So hindi siya inaamag o inaanay, kinakain ng mga termites, at hindi siya na madaling mabasa. Okay? It's like waterproof, moisture free. So you can use this for shipbuilding, for making an ark. Okay? Barko, arka. Okay? Boat, ship. Grow to as tall as 25 meters, that's 100 feet. Very, 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 very tall, very, very large. This is ALGUM, this is ALMUG, the Nara tree. So, Nara, in the Tagalog pronunciation, Nara, in Hebrew, Naara, meaning she who must be admired. Admirable, wonderful, worthy of admiration, to be admired, a young girl, a young female, a young lady, a young woman. So, this is the Queen of Sheba, the Queen of the South, coming from Ophir, bringing the ALMUG trees, the ALGUM trees, bringing Nara to King Solomon in Israel. So, Cebu, okay, originally was spelled with letter S, Cebu, and this came from Shebu, not Shabu, it's not a drug, it's not marijuana, it's Shebu, okay, and its etymology, the origin for this Sheba. So Cebu is Sheba. The Queen of Cebu is the Queen of Sheba. Cebu is an island province in the Philippines, in the Visayas region, and is better known as the Queen City of the South. Yes, you can see, welcome Cebu City, the Queen City of the South. Cebu City, Queen City of the South. Iloilo City, Queen City, from souvenirs from Cebu. Okay, Queen City of the South, Cebu City. Queen City of the South, Cebu City. So, a taste of paradise, Queen City of the South, which is in Cebu. But Jesus, and then Jesus called the Queen of Sheba, who visited King Solomon from Ophir, bringing ALMUG trees, the Queen of the South. So, Queen Sheba is the Queen of the South, said by Jesus. Jesus said, the Queen of the South is the Queen of Sheba. So, si Reynang Sheba ay ang Reyna ng Timog, coming from the uttermost parts of the earth, from the ends of the earth. Ends means, end of the earth means the end of the land, end of the ground, end of the shore, meaning it's the sea, it's the oceans, it's the waters, especially the Pacific Ring of Fire, the Chain of Fire, including Philippines, Japan, Korea, and then the west coast of the United States, California. Okay? So, those are the ends of the earth. Yung mga hangganan ng Pacific Ocean, those are the ends of the earth. So, Queen Sheba came from the uttermost part on the multitude of isles on the east, not on the west, but on the east. Hindi sa kanluran, kundi sa silangan, sa kapuluan, sa maraming pulo, which is Philippines, by the way. So, you can see, Queen Sheba is the Queen of the South, And Cebu, sure enough, is the Queen City of the South, confirming the words of Jesus in the Bible. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. So, ito ay matagal na study, pag-aaral, problema ng mga scholars. What is gopher wood? So, they say that gopher wood is a kind of tree or type of wood. Word origin is uncertain derivation, so it's unknown. The word gopher is not Hebrew and only appears in the Bible only one time. Only once. Is not mentioned again. Search in the Bible, gopher. The result will be only one verse. Genesis 6:14, and no one else. No other books, no other chapters, no other verses from the whole Old Testament and the whole New Testament. So, gopher is not Hebrew. Okay, it's something else. So, it is the red sandalwood. It is the ALGUM tree. It is the ALMUG tree. It's not even Hebrew because there are no ALMUG trees in Israel. It's native from Ophir, Philippines. It's the Nara tree. Moisture-free and termite-free. Hindi inaanay, hindi nababasa. Very tall, very high, 100 meters, 100 feet, good for shipbuilding and carrying heavy loads. The ratio, what we talk about in the Trustworthy Truth series. If you still haven't watched that, the Trustworthy Truth series, you can watch it right now. That includes shipbuilding in part 4 of that series. Okay? That being said, Noah's Webster's American Dictionary, year 1828, Gopher wood was defined as a species of wood used in the construction of the Ark of Noah, Noah's Ark. So it should be gopher, right? But it's not gopher. There is no G. It's Gopher. Okay? So Gopher is a variant spelling for Ophir. So the etymology of Ophir was Gopher, the variant word origin. Okay? Derivative of Ophir, Ophir. So did the Bible used to say Ophir instead of gopher? So it's Ophir wood, not gopher wood. The translation was not certain in Hebrew because it is not of Hebrew origin. So Ophir wood is wood from Ophir. Gopher wood is tree from the Philippines, which is Nara. That's why Nara means she who must be admired, because ALMUG trees or ALGUM trees, which are not native to Israel, was brought in by the Queen of the South, Queen Sheba, from the uttermost parts of the earth on the multitude of isles from the east. So everything is in order. Lahat ay nagdadagdag. Lahat ay consistent. There is no contradiction whatsoever. For the king's ships, so went to Tarshish with the servants of Huram. We know that Tarshish was the cousin of Ophir, Sheba, and Havilah. Okay? From their uncle Javan, the brother of their father, Joktan, which all lived from Mashad, Iran, Misha, to the Mount Sipar on the east. Okay? They all dwelt in the same place. Every 3 years, once came the ships of Tarshish, bringing what? Gold, and silver, and ivory, and apes, and peacock. So, mga ginto, mga pilak, mga sungay ng elepante, elephant's tusk, okay, and apes, actually, tarsier, from the word Tarshish, the big eyes monkeys or apes that only exist in the Philippines, and peacocks as well. So they say that Ophir was Ethiopia. That's wrong. Ophir is Yemen. That's also wrong, because Ophir, Yemen and Ethiopia are not multitude of isles. They are not even islands. There's just one small continent, and they are not in the east. They are in the middle, right? Nasa gitna sila, wala sa silangan. And you don't need 3 years to go to Ethiopia or Yemen from Israel. You need only 1 month or 4 weeks. But 3 years, you should be very, very far, not very, very near. So let us examine. So the items shipped like Lazada or Shopee or eBay or Amazon from Ophir to Israel, these are the items, these are the parcels, these are the packages. Okay, from Ophir to Israel, just like part 1. Gold of Ophir to Bet Horon, 30 shekels. So let's see. Ethiopia has gold, very good, but Ethiopia has no silver, so Ethiopia is not Ophir. Okay, Ethiopia has ivory, Ethiopia has apes, but Ethiopia has no peacocks, has no ALMUG trees or ALGUM Nara, and Ethiopia is not from the uttermost part. So Ethiopia failed to be Ophir, the qualifications to be the land of gold. So this is Ophir. Let's try Yemen. Yemen has gold, very good. Yemen has silver, okay. Yemen has no ivory. So It failed. Yemen failed. Yemen has apes, okay? Yemen has no peacocks. Yemen has no almug trees. And Yemen is not from the uttermost part of the earth. It's from the Middle East. Middle is not end of the earth. So, Yemen and Ethiopia both failed to be Ophir. The qualifications, the exact details, the merchandise, okay, yung mga paninda ng Ophir, wala sa Ethiopia, wala sa Yemen. But, let us examine Philippines. Philippines has gold, a lot of gold, abundant amount of gold, abundance of gold. Philippines has silver, Philippines has ivory, Asian elephants. Philippines has apes, tarsier that only lives in the Philippines. Okay, there are apes in other countries, but they are monkeys, they are gorillas, they are chimpanzees, orangutans, but they are not tarsier. And then Philippines has peacocks, Philippines has ALMUG trees or ALGUM, Nara, red sandalwood, and Philippines is from the east, Philippines is from the uttermost part of the earth, Philippines is a multitude of islands, which is 7,701 islands to be exact, and Philippines, you would need 3-year journey from Israel to the Philippines. Without airplanes, 2,000, 4,000 years ago, at the day of, at the era of Solomon, King Solomon. So they only went to Ophir by boat. With no engines, walang makina, sagwan. Okay? Nagkasagwan sila. So, you need 3 years from Israel to Philippines and Philippines to Israel. 3 taon. So, all the criterias all the criteria to be Ophir was fulfilled, was submitted, all the requirements was submitted, was complied by the Philippines, proving that the Philippines is indeed, truly, really Ophir, the land of gold. For ye know that the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, he is God Almighty, he is the Creator Father, yet for our sakes, for your sakes, for my sake, Jesus became poor. Okay? Even foxes have holes, right? And the birds have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. That ye through his poverty might be rich. Through the poverty of Jesus, he lived in Nazareth, a squatter area. Jesus was very, very poor, even though he's the Creator God who created the universe and the earth and all that is in them. Okay? So that we might become rich, so that we might become blessed. And all the blessings of God are here in our country. Be proud to be a Pinoy. Don't post memes ridiculing the Philippines, your own country, your own nation. Pinagtatawanan, kino-compare sa ibang bansa. Ganito sa Pilipinas, ganyan ang Pinoy. No! There are many good things, positive things here in the Philippines. Be proud, you're a Filipino. We are rich here. So that's the end of part 2. Almug trees or ALGUM trees, the red sandalwood, Nara tree, which means she who must be admired, the Queen Sheba, coming from the Ophir, coming from Ophir, the Queen of the South, which is Cebu, Queen Sheba, the Queen City of the South. From the isles of the earth, from the ends of the earth, multitude of isles on the east, Orient, Parvaim. Next topic for the next video, next time, will be uploaded tomorrow. We will talk about the history of Luzon, the origin of the Lecos Islands, the etymology of this largest region of the Philippines, Luzon. We will talk about Magellan and Ferdinand Pinto. Okay? So that being said, you can still watch this from the Solomon's Gold series of the TGC, the God Culture. I made this 3 years ago. Thank you for listening. Once again, this is Pastor JKevz Reyes. Thank you for watching all the way through the end. This is a very long video, 19 minutes. So thank you. So, yeah, Ophir is the biblical land of gold. And the blessing is not outside our country. So we should not import. So we should export, right? Because the blessing is from within. We have the blessing right here. So don't go abroad. Especially the Saudi Arabia. They have a culture there that we will talk about in our Quran series. How Muslim culture and politics and government treats OFWs, overseas Filipino workers. So don't go there. Stay here. Wherever the shepherd is, there are green pastures. Do not look for green pastures. Look for the shepherd. And Jesus, as the shepherd, will lead us to green pastures and still waters. So yeah, inspired from the God culture. Research by yours truly 3 years ago, 2017. It's 20 minutes now. Thank you, mabuhay Pilipinas, and God bless.